Okay, welcome Linda, who's the volunteer garden coordinator at MCAVHN. Thanks for coming out and being interviewed. So first, can you tell us a little bit about MCAVHN in general and what they do?
Yeah, MCAVHN is a drop-in and advocacy space for people who have HIV and AIDS and also viral hepatitis. And they do case management and just have a safe space for people to come to. And there's also the needle exchange here.
Cool. And can you tell us more specifically about what this garden is and what's going on in here?
Well, I've been working with the MCAVHN garden since last spring, and at the moment it's just really sleeping and been put to bed for the winter. So there's not really very much in it at the moment, and the white moths have pretty much eaten all the cabbage starts. But we're just kind of working on trying to make raised beds, heavy mulched raised beds, and just trying to break up the clay soil.
Cool.
That's pretty much all that's going on in the garden at the moment.
And can you tell us a little bit, so what is your role at the garden?
Well, I come in and I work in the garden, I try to get projects started, and I also just actively try to get volunteers and clients especially involved in the garden.
Great. And so is there a greater mission for the garden?
Just to kind of get more of the clients out into the garden, actually using the garden, helping to grow things, and it's just, because MCAVHN's like a healing space for people, at all different kinds of stages in their lives, so it's nice for them to be able to have somewhere they can come and sit and be safe.
Cool. So can you tell us one of the greatest successes of the garden so far in your role at it, or just the past couple months?
Well, this enclosed garden was built a few years ago, but the people who were involved in that weren't involved in it when I got here, so it was a little bit neglected, but people here at that point didn't have a lot of time and energy to put into the garden, so they were planting some stuff, but it wasn't really flourishing. So when I came in, I was like, okay, I have lots of time, I can come do it. So we just got the whole thing redug and replanted last spring, and we just had a really good harvest, a lot of squash, a lot of greens, and mostly tomatoes. We had tons and tons of tomatoes.
And what did you all do with the produce?
Everything gets given to clients or to the staff or to the volunteers, and also into the kitchen, because we usually have food for people here who need food.
Cool.
As well.
Do you do any preserving of the tomatoes, or just got all taken away?
Yes, the last of the tomatoes, all the green ones, I took them home, and I made a green tomato chutney, which I'm going to be decanting tomorrow, and then that's all going to be given to people at the Christmas party on Thursday.
Oh, great. Cool. So what's your favorite part about working in the garden?
I love gardening, and it's just nice to know that I'm doing something to help MCAVHN, because in my personal life with my partner is a client here at MCAVHN, so it's nice to be able to give something to MCAVHN and also to help out and support people who actually use MCAVHN.
And so you talked a little bit about what's growing in the garden for this winter. You have you said cabbage, that didn't do so well. Yeah. I see some mustard greens maybe behind you.
Yeah, at the back we have the collard greens, which are just growing like vines. They're amazing. Those things seem to survive no matter what kind of gets them. And then we've also got the greens here, which are getting a bit funky. We do have some lettuce, but all the smaller cabbage just really got decimated. But we do have a lot of borage as well, which is absolutely lovely, and that's great for attracting bees. It's also a medicinal herb, so I always try to get people to not pull it up. And you can also eat the greens as well. It's a pretty amazing plant.
Oh, wow. And what are the plans for the summer or spring?
For the summer and the spring, again, we're going to just keep trying to build the beds up and break the clay soil down. And I've been trying to establish like a deep mulch system, especially during the summer. You have to be careful with that during the winter, because it attracts like a lot of slugs and things. So at the moment, just mulching it, and then in the spring, it's just going to be, again, more stuff, maybe more potatoes, more peas to help break up the soil. And I want to get more herbs and more flowers in here too.
Cool. And you were telling me a little bit about this area over here earlier.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that and say any future plans for over there?
Okay. This area here, we're hoping to build a medicinal herb garden, and clients and staff and volunteers who come into the garden would really like to have some kind of meditation space and a quiet space, because we have the smoking space, but that's usually kind of noisy, especially when it's warm. So over on this side, we want to build something. We're not sure yet. So, I mean, my personal ideas, my hopes is that we have some kind of like cob bench, maybe wood stove type thing, or even maybe some sculpted living willow or something, or a mosaic, or even just like, you know, a bit of wood to sit on would be nice.
Cool.
And but all of the herbs are going to be specifically for people with HIV, AIDS, or for hepatitis.
Cool. So that would be a big project that you would have coming up in spring that you might need some volunteers for?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. And then finally, what is your favorite vegetable and why?
My favorite vegetable, oh gosh, well, I'm a vegetarian, so I like all vegetables, but I'm particularly into doing like foraging and wildcrafting, so anytime I can find anything, you know, that I can just walk down the street and pick it off a tree, I'm happy.
Cool. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck in the garden. And then if anyone is interested in volunteering at the MCAVHN garden, all of our contact information is on the website, so we can look that up under the MCAVHN garden. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.